gone mad and I'm not just blabbering random things. What I just said will make sense, we'll just need to take a little detour to get to understanding it. First, let us have a quick show of hands. Who here likes emotions? As in, who here thinks emotions are awesome and really fun? Well, I see a lot of hands. What is wrong with you people? Well, I certainly don't, or rather did not like them. Well, let's go back a little. I've always had difficulty experiencing emotions. But wait, that's where it gets a little tricky. That's what I used to think, that the problem wasn't experiencing emotions. Turns out it had nothing to do with experiencing, rather it was regulating emotions. Anyone who knows me knows how clueless I can get when it gets to social cues and well, emotions. And this is a very accurate depiction of what I'm like. To me, they were always these weird, terrible, intangible things that always ended up creating trouble for me. And I sometimes just wish that they ceased to exist. So for the longest time, I considered myself a bit like Spock from Star Trek. He's half Vulcan and half human. What if I too am half human and half something? So I consider myself to be alienated from all humanly things. Psychologists Paul Ekman and psychologists Dacker Keltman and Paul Ekman, while helping out with the movie Inside Out, their research led them to believe that emotions organize rather than disrupt rational thinking. Traditionally, the prevailing view has been that emotions are enemies of rational thinking and disruptive of cooperative social relations. But the truth is that emotions guide our perceptions of the world, our memories of the past, and even our moral judgments of right and wrong. So when making decisions, emotions are intricately interlaced into rational thinking. And then a while back, while I was prepping for an exam, doing the usual thing you do when you have an exam coming up, studying everything interesting on the face of the earth except for the exam. And then I ran into an interesting reading comprehension, which basically completely equated art as a form to emotion. So according to the reading comprehension, art isn't creation. It is discovery. It is discovery of emotions which already exist but haven't been discovered yet. And that artists do two things: discover these emotions and interpret them in a way these emotions can reach less sensitive people by amplifying them in a meaningful collection of ways. This was weird to me because I always did consider myself as an artistic person, but never someone with much to do with or a good understanding of emotions. That put me into ponderance, and I realized that that article probably was right. And then when I was painting a painting, what I was doing was subconsciously translating my emotions into an art form. And then I ran into another very interesting thing. That gave me a whole new perspective on emotions and sent me down a fairly interesting rabbit hole. What if emotions and rationality are not two completely opposite terms? Here's the problem. Binary thinking permeates our culture. And one of the most popular binaries is emotions and rationality. Those two are considered to be completely opposite terms, and that one has to be dominant over the other. And Spock is the epitome of this, and as the character's originator, Leonard Nimoy, believed that despite him being half Vulcan, Spock's struggle was inherently a human one. So psychologists when helping out with the movie Inside Out, they led them to the conclusion that emotions organize rather than disrupt. Now, in the story of Spock, there has always been this prevailing view that, and then always this underlying question of how do we integrate our feelings into rational thinking to enhance our problem-solving abilities, our behavior, our interpretations of reality. Oh, and there's this another really interesting thing I found. This isn't some random picture of a rangoli I found. Humans, I give you the wheel of emotions. We all know that emotions are complex and you can't experience joy without sorrow, peace without anger, and courage without fear from the movie Inside Out. Robert Plutchik in this wheel explains emotions in a unique way where he organizes 8 basic emotions. So each, just like in a color wheel, each primary color makes to form new secondary colors. So in this wheel, emotion wheel, each primary emotion also makes to form new secondary emotion. Like fear and trust would form submission, the secondary color. Human emotions, however, aren't just that mysterious force that makes us cry when we're bored or laugh when we're sad. It is because of the ability of humans to react, to give emotional responses to fiction that makes them outcompete all other homogeneous species. Humans outcompete all other homogeneous species because of human emotions. And all in all, what I found is that emotions aren't just these weird, terrible, dumb things, dumb, useless things. And here's the deal. While I still struggle to follow social cues and regulate emotions, I'm learning. I'm learning that it's okay to have emotions and not turn into a Vulcan by suppressing them. They are to be nourished and nourished into creating a balance between rationality and logic. And I'm very grateful to the people that help me understand emotions better. And we have to let go of the idea of binary thinking. One more thing. How happy is the blameless vestal's lot, the world forgetting by the world forgot, eternal sunshine of the spotless mind, each prayer accepted and each wish resigned, is from the poem Eloisa to Abelard by Alexander Pope. While it has a different context in the poem, to me, this quote means that it's a reminder that there is a world of eternal sunshine out there where the mind is spotless and it is to be lived without emotions. It is free, this world is free from the turmoil of having feelings, free of the causal complexity of having emotions, free of the riveting terror that exists in being human. There is a lot to gain in this life of freedom, and yet in this life of freedom, there are shackles. It's hard to describe what these shackles are of, but somehow emotions are essential to the human experience, for they bring colors to life. Just like you can fill a canvas with colors from the color wheel, you can lighten up your life with colors from the emotion wheel. Thank you.